So another question from the New Testament then. So Romans 11:11, which,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly, was in your bio. Yes, it was in your
Hmm.
bio. So how can we best provoke Jews to jealousy?
Yeah, it sounds kind of daunting because if you read Romans 11 in the context, like Paul says, there's this partial hardening on Israel right now. And then God opens the door to the nations to believe. Through Israel's hardening, the door opens to the Gentiles to believe, and then we're called to provoke them to jealousy. So I think the best way, one of the ways I saw someone come to faith, a Jewish friend of mine that's a good friend of mine now, come to faith in Jesus, was I just knew a lot more about the Old Testament than he did. And it bothered him because I'd sit down and go over the scriptures with him, and he's like, I mean, as far as I know, like Old Testament's us and New Testament's you guys, and you don't. He didn't know how much Christians read the Old Testament to begin with, but I mean, he was just like really flabbergasted how much. I mean, we knew about the Old Testament. I think it bothered him and it provoked him, and it caused him to start seeking, about who Jesus was. So I think you can provoke them to jealousy by loving them, of course, but obviously, if you get in conversations with them, just knowing Jewish things like it is provoking, like stuff about the Passover, like, oh, we believe Jesus is the Passover. He fulfills Passover. Hey, you guys celebrate Passover every year as Jews. Every year you just celebrate it. We celebrate it, and that Jesus is the fulfillment of Passover, and here's how. That can be very provoking to a Jewish person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, about their Jewish holidays. So I think sometimes it's just weaving in those Jewish things that would really, really get, like, oh my gosh, this Christian knows all about Passover. How does he know about that? Well, because look, it talks about it in the New Testament and it's referring back
Yeah.
to the Old Testament. So I think sometimes that's a good way to do it. Just talk about some Jewish things, have a little knowledge of
Hmm.
Jewish things. Yeah. In a
Yeah,
gentle way, not like arrogant, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, that just makes them kind of feel loved because you took the time to, dig into their culture before you even, you know, started talking about it, or maybe even before they even met you. You had this like already like almost like a deep love and appreciation for the Jewish culture. And now you're able to talk about it with them in a really relevant way that they're going to be able to really understand.